A new morning in Blaine County always begins with a choice. Either you conquer the dust, or it clogs your paws. Our clubhouse was a wonderful start, but a true Donna does not sit still when the empire demands expansion. Today, I'm not just driving into the city, because when you're building an empire, every trip out of Grapeseed is not just logistics. It is a small diplomatic mission. I'm heading to Mirror Park, because big moves need city energy and the right people. Serious business needs a legal front that does not smell like motor oil or forged invoices. They say there is a lovely arcade for sale in Grapeseed, and it would be perfect for the new central headquarters of La Famiglia Colt. The main thing is finding common ground with the person who controls that sector. Mirror Park looks cute, even though the coffee here is just as terrible as it is everywhere else in this state. But this is where the legendary brain of the San Andreas underworld is waiting for me. Lester Crest, a man who knows more about business in Los Santos than any licensing office ever could. He does not like leaving his usual spots, but for the right question, he always has the right answer.
Well, I'm here. I was just gonna message you back and tell you to dick off. And I thought, well, why not? Why not go down there and meet her and tell her to dick off IRL? Look, whatever you want from me, whatever this big new job is, I'm out. Okay? I'm done. I already took every decent score in the state. I cleaned out the Union Depository. I took down the IAA and the FIB. I rang the bell on half the Boss Act 500 CEOs. I have more money than I could ever spend. Okay, so that's it. I always dressed like a retiree. Now, I actually am one. So go ahead, so I can tell you to shove it up your hiney.
Looking good, boss.
While normal people start their morning with makeup or checking their stats, Veronica Cruz wakes up with one mission: to make the world as boring and buttoned up as possible. When she walks down a hallway, even the wallpaper is afraid to peel. Her dubster is always perfectly clean. Not a speck of dust, not a single trace of grapeseed. I suspect she even disinfects the air inside the cabin just in case. SecuroServ sent its elite operative into an industrial zone that usually smells like cheap motor oil and lost hopes. Apparently, this is what they call mixed cargo exports. Our corporate ghost immediately takes control of the situation, before anyone even has time to realize the situation was out of control in the first place. Looks like even iron ladies have days when upper management makes you do manual labor and turn the wheel for the sake of a quarterly report. Honestly, I could do that too, but my manicure does not allow me to prove it in practice.
Chin up a little, lose the smile. Nobody smiles on official documents. This is not Tinder. And do not blink, or you will be a Costa Rican citizen with a lazy eye forever. Make your face more serious, like you actually understand inflation and federal warrants.
Dolly got a simple assignment. Get to El Burro Heights, find the boat that was already prepped, deliver a batch of documents, and not turn it into a sea legend with a stupid ending. It looked so easy that even I almost believed in the professionalism of our logistics. Dolly's problem is that she never just goes from point A to point B. She rides like there absolutely has to be a little festival of risk and bad decisions somewhere in between. El Burro Heights, a scenic shoreline, a salty breeze, and Dolly's complete confidence that everything is going according to plan. That is always what scares me the most, when she looks confident. There are two fully prepped, completely identical boats sitting just off the shore. No label, no sign, not a single clue which one is ours. It is either a coincidence, or someone else in this city is also in the alternative logistics business. Dolly, of course, chose a boat using the scientific poke method, jumped in, and punched it straight into the ocean. Somewhere around the middle of the ocean, Dolly realized there were no documents in the boat, no route, and no sign whatsoever that it was even our boat. What it did have were wet ropes, a weird crate, and the feeling that she had just stolen someone else's problem. When Dolly came back, the right boat had somehow made it to shore on its own. Maybe the current brought it in. Maybe it also decided not to wait for Dolly. At that moment, even the water looked like it wanted to back away and have nothing to do with us. The boat was empty. The buyer showed up, took the goods, and left without ever suspecting that our logistics director was sitting in someone else's boat in the middle of the ocean at that exact moment. Technically, mission accomplished. Dolly, darling, I'm trying to understand the logic here. You took a boat that was not ours, sailed off into nowhere, and meanwhile the buyer found the right boat by himself, picked up the documents, and left.
So what is the problem? The documents were delivered, the client is happy, and nobody drowned.
You mixed up the staging point with the delivery point. That is not logistics, Dolly. That is just... I do not even know what to call it. Good thing the current pushed the boat where it needed to go, or we would be counting losses right now, not profit.
That is the boldest explanation of a failure I have ever heard, Dolly. La Famiglia Colt cannot afford to have a reputation as a company where the courier does not know where to sail.
If the client had shown up on the shore 5 minutes earlier, he would have seen our logistics director rowing in the opposite direction.
If it were not for me, he could have gotten into the wrong boat. So I took that risk on myself. That is called thinking outside the standard approach.
All right, enough about the boats, because I have news that will make you both happy. This morning, I finalized the negotiations and officially purchased Wonderama. La Famiglia Colt now has its own arcade, and this is no longer just a business. It is a cultural landmark of Blaine County. Now we will have a luxurious central headquarters with arcade machines and a respectable front.
When my Uncle Les said that this job was in games, I was thinking more of a esports league, like packed out stadiums and global streaming rights and professional athletes that make millions of dollars, and they look like me, not a museum. I mean, some of these games are older than I am.
Okay, do you want the gig or not? There's a bunch of kids who chopped their arms off, but the boss told me I had to give it to you.
No, I do. I want it. Just tell me what to do.
Do you know how to use a broom?
Wendy!
Hey.
Hey, how's he doing? Actually, don't tell me. Jimmy, everyone has to start somewhere.
I know. This is not how privilege is supposed to work.
Oh, he's a family friend. I give him a week tops. Oh, so, what do you think? We need some more cabinets, a bit of a spruce up. This way. I grew up in these kinds of places.
Wendy, Jimmy, look around. This is not just an arcade. This is my personal palazzo and the new central headquarters of La Famiglia Colt. This is where we will make destiny-shaping decisions, and in between, play Kitty Claw. I spent half the day trying to dress my sisters properly for the opening of our new central headquarters. The best thing about Wonderama was that our new headquarters was literally right across the street from home. No complicated logistics from Dolly, no city traffic. You just cross the road, and you're already in the center of destiny-shaping decisions. That is what I call perfect urban planning for a modern Donna.
Are we seriously paying for this storage unit for dead spiders and broken junk? I hope your big empire expansion plan has a separate line item for buying 10 buckets and industrial mops.
Dolly, of course, could not just cross the street like a normal person. She landed a Cargobob right next to headquarters because it's faster and it looks impressive. But at least she arrived on time. Our family council was officially gathering under one roof.
Where is the logistics office, and why does this place not smell like cold beer yet?
I stopped by to check whether your new headquarters meets basic security protocols and will not interfere with existing contracts. Although so far, this property looks more like a disaster zone than a business asset.
Veronica, what a pleasant surprise. Our first official corporate audit at Wonderama. I would offer you coffee, but first we need to find an outlet for the coffee machine. And honestly, the machine itself has not arrived yet.
Do not worry, Miss Cruz. Everything here is under control. The control is just running a little late.
If you came here to write us up for cobwebs, we were just about to open the cleaning front. There are no threat factors here.
There is more dust in here than in an abandoned bunker off Route 68. By the way, if you happen to hear which idiot stole my prepped boat in Burro Heights yesterday and just wandered around the ocean for no reason, let me know immediately.
Veronica said she had forgotten her sanitizer in the car and asked to use the restroom. I did not even know our headquarters had a restroom, but when a woman from SecuroServ says she needs to wash her hands, you do not ask extra questions. You just pray there is water in the faucet. Later, I found out that Wonderama had a basement, a hidden door, and an entire room the seller somehow forgot to mention during the purchase. Turns out that along with a mountain of junk, we accidentally bought a full underground command center. And Veronica Cruz knew a lot more about its existence than we did, the legal owners of this spider kingdom. An empire means your older sister complains, your middle sister steals someone else's boat, and you know what? I kind of like it.